I will, well, I do have a problem now because I have about 30 slides, two huge topics. One is academic networks and another one national excellence projects. And 15-20 minutes to go. So what I decided to do now is to start from the gist of the story, from the main claim, and the rest will be just a illustration to this claim. So this presentation has been provoked by an interview given by one of my very good South African friends, Professor Nico Juste from Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University. He gave the interview to the Old University News, and he said that BRICS Network University, the case of which I am going to talk today, is the product of 500 project. I mean, my main claim is not that it's not just true historically, because the BRICS Network University is another initiative. But my claim is that it's more than that. It's more kind of philosophical claim that global or national excellence projects and BRICS Network University, or at least some international networks, they pull actually in different directions. So they are not of the same kind, I would say. So this is the main claim, and the rest is illustration. So I just start, start the illustration. So I tried to put, these two projects, 500 project and BRICS Network University project, in the context of what is increasingly called academic revolution, meaning, neoliberal, transnational, academic revolution. I just refer to people like Philipp Albach, for example, who wrote extensively on this. And, famously, this academic revolution is consisted of three main elements. One is massification, tertiary education, higher education is getting more and more mass. And here you can see the graphs, how the percentage of the population, which enroll to the higher education in different countries. The second element of this academic revolution is globalization or internationalization. We have more and more international students in the world, and by 2020, we will probably have about 7.5 million international students. And then, of course, commercialization. The university is becoming commercial enterprise. It can be understood as a company producing programs for the students. It can also be understood as a company producing graduates for the employers. I mean, these two modes of commercialization are present. However, the university is, worldwide, the university is losing this kind of understanding that higher education is a public good, that higher education is it's getting more and more kind of private academic, private commercial enterprise. Now, where is the place of the BRICS countries in that? I mean, BRICS countries do need, and this is my second claim, that do need both. They need to raise academic standards. They need to better integrate to global academia. And of course, this integration can be measured by, rankings, which famously, with all the problems, are here to stay. And they also need attention to the specificity of the BRICS societies, as just has been told during this panel. Our BRICS societies need human development. Our BRICS societies need fight against poverty. And actually, this is not measured by the rankings, and this is not actually, about integration to global academia. So there are two purposes. One is to develop, what we have to develop in our societies. And another one is to integrate better to the academia. Well, on this integration side, on the, how we integrate to global academia, here you can see, the current performance of BRICS universities in the world academic ranking, as in comparison with UK. So this green one is UK, yellow one is China, and almost insignificant presence is other countries. I mean, even China, which started reforming education in 1999, started to pump money into the system. Even China still cannot, really compete with UK or the US. Do we, as a BRICS universities, can we actually compete with global North universities in the academic rankings? Probably not in any foreseeable future. However, in this excellence project or excellence projects are not only about, competing in the rankings, but it's about exactly integration. So this is, these are some excellence projects, in different countries, and you can see here that, from Denmark to Russia, the range of the countries is really large. And the most generous program is in China with $6 billion, and the most recent one is Russian 500 enhancing competitiveness project. Now let me talk a bit about the Russian 500 project. It started in 2013 with the first wave, and during this first wave, 15 Russian universities has been chosen to participate in the project. In 2015, during second wave, 6 more universities joined the project. Well, it has very ambitious goals, one of which is to bring 5 Russian universities to top 100 of the university rankings, probably not to, the main kind of world university ranking, but in the subject rankings. And, this is the range of the project from Kaliningrad to Vladivostok, just to give you a sense of the dimension. The flight from Kaliningrad to Vladivostok is probably about 10 hours. It took me from Paris to here 11 hours. So this is, the dimension of the country and the dimension of the project. Well, we, as a university of the project, we invite, our colleagues to collaborate with us. So, we have several conferences each year, and we invite, our international partners to visit and to collaborate. We do have some initial achievements. You can see here that, some of our universities are already in top 100, sorry, of the subject ranking. The publications rate is growing. And this is my Ural Federal University in the main, kind of frame of the slide. However, the total, the share of the 500 universities among all Russian universities, the share of the Web of Science and Scopus publication is also growing. So, we do have some achievement in that. The number of international students is growing here, so some of the Russian universities, got very impressive results. This is the number of graduate international students. It's also, every year more and more, so the project basically is quite successful. Now, what is philosophy behind the project? So the main ideas behind the projects are, first, to create several world-class universities on Russian soil. So this is about creating elite institutions. Secondly, to integrate Russian education better in the world academia. This is about raising academic standards in Russia. To enhance visibility of Russian system of education worldwide. So this is about promotion of Russian education with the aim, and this is fourth, to regain the position in global education market. So we want to be present globally, and basically this project is about that. In a way, this project is in the line with the academic revolution, with commercialization, and actually with the establishment of what can be called global transnational educational capitalism. Now, the story about BRICS Network University, and this is the second case I am going to talk about. This is, completely different project. In principle, the idea of the university networks is different because what we do, we focus upon shared problems and common challenges. We are trying to help our societies to address most pressing issues, sometimes even to offer alternatives to the existing academic programs, organizations, or practices. If excellent project is about creating horizontal relations between elite and non-elite institutions. And this is more or less, in the philosophy of the ranking. Networks, or BRICS Network University, is about creating horizontal ties between the universities of the network. Okay. Now, what are philosophical ideas behind BRICS Network University? There are two ideas. One is elaborated by, experts in Fudan University, in BRICS Center of Fudan University, Professor Fan Yong-min, who actually wrote on new concept of the development, and several articles on new concept of the development. This concept actually was implemented in the very name of the new development bank, which is BRICS Development Bank. And the question is, what is new about this new development concept? So the answer which Professor Fan is giving is that this is idea of win-win collaboration, or non-zero-sum game collaboration. And it includes ideas of the equality of the countries involved, autonomy or sovereignty of the countries involved, and this is about sustainable development. Of course, this idea of the new concept of the development is still a raw idea. It should be elaborated further. But I think basically that there is something to it, and some important things can be captured by this idea of the development. The second philosophical idea is much more developed. This is a sociological theory of plural modernities as against a theory of modernization. In modernization, we have, in the theory of modernization, we have more or less straightforward way towards, the ideal of the modern society. Basically, after the Second World War, modernization was understood as westernization and even Americanization of the societies in general. The idea of plural modernities, elaborated by Shmuel Eisenstadt, Peter Wagner, a number of famous sociologists, is very different. It says that each nation, each country experience modernity conditions in its own way, that modernity is experience and interpretation, and these experience and interpretation differ in different cultures in different countries. So if you compare, Excellence Project with BRICS Network University, I would say that the first is about modernization, and the second more about, plural modernities idea. So BRICS countries have very different education and research structures. So people like, again, Philipp Altbach, famously, he published an article, NICS for BRICS, claiming that there is no, it doesn't make any sense to talk about BRICS in education because we are distant countries, we are very different, and our educational systems are uncomparable. So there is there was no almost cooperation between some of the BRICS countries in research and in education, in previous years. So, for example, this is the article counts and percentage of co-publication in 2012-2015. These digits in the brackets. These are percentage of the articles co-published with the scholars, scientists of the other BRICS country, against the total number of publications published by this particular country. So, for example, Russia and Brazil, co-author only 1.1% of the total publications published by Russia. And you can see here that this amount does not exceed 3%. So this is, very small, actually, very small collaboration we have among, the majority of the countries. Well, mostly collaboration is enhanced and is very high with China only, not within, not with, say, Russia and South Africa or Russia and Brazil. So the BRICS Network University has been, this is a project which was created to address these issues. I mean, we all have kind of political and economic will to collaborate, but our collaboration is not that developed yet. So, BRICS Network University project, MOU on establishment this BRICS Network University has been signed by BRICS Ministers of Education in November 2015. 55 universities were chosen, and 6 thematic priorities are in the project. This includes BRICS studies. This is a absolutely new, emerging discipline. Computer sciences and information security, ecology and climate change, water resources, pollution treatment, economics and energy. But these are just, first priorities. So there is an understanding that the number of priorities would grow and the number of universities would grow, but we have to start somewhere. So what we do together, there are 6 international working groups. In each priority area, a group is working on the joint programs, and the first student exchanges should start on September 2017. We created a web portal. We created, several managing and governing boards like International Governing Board with 15 permanent members, BRICS and EU national coordinating committees in each country. So there are committees in the country, there is a higher international board, and there are thematic groups. So the total structure is multi, it has many layers, so to speak, of coordination. Now, BRICS